More reaction. On the line is the Angelique Kutsia from the South African Medical Association. Angelique, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. So we have these million doses. The next thing, of course, is getting them to actually go to the right people at the right time.
And at the right place and at the right temperature. Good afternoon. You are so right. We are extremely glad that finally it arrived in the country. But now the hard work is starting because this is the first step in a long process before the final arrival into your deltoid muscle in the upper arm. And that would be when the process for the first phase has been finished. So up until then, there's still a lot of pitfalls that can happen. I know that most of the provinces are preparing very hard in the background. And here, SAMA wants to salute Janetta Hunter from the Northwest Province, who is actually the only province so far who reached out to SAMA and the private sector to ask them to come on board and to also help and assist not only with the vaccination but also how we can be part of the vaccination phase 1. And this is how it should work. There should be a collaboration between the public and private sector for this project to go anywhere in a very well-controlled manner.
And as the South African Medical Association, what are your thoughts on the AstraZeneca vaccine? Of course, we're seeing it has a 70% efficacy in actually preventing people from contracting COVID-19.
Look, it is what it is. There's better vaccines than the AstraZeneca, but that is what we have currently, and that is what we're going to get. And we would have to make do and see, at least if you vaccinate, although it's not the best one on the market, if you vaccinate with the AstraZeneca one, you will then be less susceptible to get the COVID-19 disease. So it means that if I do get the disease, I would most probably be able to stay at home and not need to end up in hospital or lose my life. So, and that is, you know, as I say, that it is what it is. So we need to vaccinate as much people as we can. We need to take into consideration that most probably you would still be able to spread the virus. Therefore, the use of masks, social distancing, is not going to be something from the past. I'm hearing people say, you know, I'm so tired. I just want to carry on with my life. I want everything to be normal. Well, this is the new normal. So hopefully, again, we will learn important lessons from this first rollout of the vaccines, and not as in the second wave when we had in December our second COVID-19 wave and was not well prepared. Hopefully we will be better prepared coming the phase 2, where the average public, certain groups from the public, would then choose to be vaccinated. Also, it's important for people out there to understand you need to register on the department's platform. Once if you are registered at the platform, your name will then go to the district or the nearest place where you are located. You will then be informed that on a certain day at a certain time you can go and get your vaccine. And this is especially now for the healthcare workers. We're talking here strictly of phase 1. And once if you are allocated a time and a place, it is extremely important not to be late, because the AstraZeneca vaccines are coming in packages of 50 vials. A vial is that little bottle where you get the vaccine in, and each bottle can vaccinate about 9 to 10 people. But once the vaccine is out, of the package, you have 6 hours to use that vaccine. So it would take a lot of good logistic maneuvering to make sure, and it would ask of our people, who is notorious for always being late on appointments, as well as our doctors. We are also late, so we also need to make sure that we are in time for our vaccination, that happens.
Yeah, I'm going to be optimistic and say that it will happen, because with this, we really do have to be optimistic about this fight against COVID-19 at this point, right? So Angelique Coetzee from the South African Medical Association, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. But if you are just joining us, you're watching live visuals at OR Tambo International Airport. That, of course, is where the AstraZeneca vaccine, 1 million doses, touching down in South Africa a short while ago on this Emirates aircraft. And just because of the importance of this particular vaccine, a vaccinologist who led the development team behind the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine at Oxford University says it will be effective against South Africa's variant. Now, South Africa has received 1 million doses. You're seeing it being offloaded on the aircraft right now. But let's take an important listen to one of the people who tested this vaccine from Oxford University.
There won't be a complete knockout of the efficacy of the vaccine. And the vaccines, as we've just said, are already pretty effective, 80% plus, to some even 90% against the original variant. And the other bit of good news just in the last week is when another vaccine from the Novavax company was tested in South Africa. Yes, there was a reduction against the variant, the South African variant, but the efficacy was still 60%. Now, those of us who've been in this field intensively for the last year are well aware that what everybody wanted, say 6 months ago, was a vaccine that was 50% effective. So even against the variant where you don't get the very high efficacy, you still get 60% efficacy against mild to moderate COVID. And remember, if you look at severe COVID or risk of hospitalization or risk of death, the efficacy is always higher. It's close to 100% for essentially all of the vaccines that have been looked at so far. So it may be that eventually we might need to make a South African variant-specific vaccine, but for the moment, the vaccine arriving today is going to be very useful against the original strain and against the South African variant, is my personal view.
Important information about how this vaccine will react to the new variant which was discovered in South Africa. And let's go live to Heidi Jacos. She is just outside OR Tambo International Airport, where the vaccines have officially touched down. Heidi, of course, for the benefit of those who are watching, first let's start with what's happening. What are we seeing and what do we expect in the next couple of minutes?
Where we are positioned, it's at gate number 2 at the freight side of the airport, and we will be seeing, as soon as the cargo is taken out of the aircraft and the President, of course, says a few words, we understand that the logistics company will load specific trucks that will transport the vaccines to various cold storage facilities in Johannesburg, and then thereafter it will be moved over to Bloemfontein, where it will be tested and verified to make sure that it is in fact a COVID-19 vaccine. So we'll most likely be seeing this gate opening with those trucks coming out. Of course, they're going to be unmarked, and we understand that the logistics company indicated that this is due to security reasons. They will not indicate or disclose any further details with regards to how many vaccines they'll be loading into each truck, how many trucks they'll be moving around, and where the various warehouses will be. And of course, this is due to security reasons, and they just want to safeguard the vaccine, as of course it's something that many people want at this stage. So that's most likely what we'll be seeing in the next coming minutes out of this gate that you're seeing now live on your TV screen.